able to use Braum as an engaged champion even in some scenarios, and the double Freljord really rounds out their team fight.
And Doran gets his ambassador. This to me is the champion that he started kind of the turnaround.
For the fans on both sides. But no surprise in any arena.
On the opposite side, that Wukong that I really highly prioritize right now as far as the jungle pool is going to find the first skirmish.
Cuz kicking things off, Carrier waiting off to the side, TP already used, flash backwards, the concussive blow stacking, Owner 2, they got him! Manages to lock him down, and that's gonna be first blood, they're donating it to BDD!
The roam up the bottom lane here, Peter
dragging his team to finals back in 2021. As
Dom going in, Hunter's volley not quite enough, now Carrier is looking to finish the job himself. Slowly but surely the Poppy whittling him down, Dom forced to flash away, but Carrier hungry for blood, a little bit more time, the Q flash forward, Dom with a bit of a sidestep, extra movement speed, trying to make it through the minions. Dogdam living for an extra moment, avoiding the angle back into the wall. Carrier gets the knockback. The clutch coming out. 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
And Dogdam.
Wukong is there.
Dogdam on the way down. He won't be there in time. However, Unbreakable Peter looking to mark him up. Concussive blows finally hitting. Auto attack reset more than enough. Guma Yushi falls at the hands of Cuz.
And KT are
similar story for Guma. So for Dogdam to take this away from Guma and have a good game is crucial for KT's game plan, as the ulti doesn't connect from Doran. That's crushing. Very likely would have been a sure thing on the initial kill, and now Perfect wants to go for the all-in. Carry on the way up, but Perfect is completely overheated. Buying a bit more time to overheat now as he turns back into the wave. Damage coming in, and the rest of the team has arrived. Spinning right on top of Doran. It is a Cyclone. Carrier running for his life. Concussed. Taken down. KT dominating game one.
Perfect.
Strong. They spot Carrier, and they know that is their time to step up. Owner waiting. Gumayushi on the way in. Arrow connecting. No chance to use the Crescent Guard. It might be too late by the time Owner does it. Realm War behind, and it's BDD right on top of Owner, but Faker is there to cover. Instantly, he's sprinting out to safety as Dogdam starts to rain hell onto Owner, but the Xin is too damn tanky. The objective in the sights of KD. Guma, not enough time to charge the arrow. Second, Drake dropping for KT rolls.
Bottom side mid wave is not even going to get pushed all the way in.
Doran.
That's 4 people.
Overstaying, concussive blows. The Cyclone immediately comes out as well. Doran can't push a single button. KT merciless on the dive. Doran caught asleep at the wheel. Overconfident T1 trying to fire back for first tower, but it's KT who get it. T1 chipping away at those resources. Eyes on the equalizer. Redemption now used. Cooldown up just in time. KT is going, but now they want to turn it right back. Instantaneous equalizer. Carrier locked up. Realm War coming in, but denied. Carrier wants to knock Perfect out of the fight, but it might not matter because it's Doran into the back line. Owner stays standing. Cuz take it down. T1 fired back.
No matter the early deficit, T1, they still win the team fight. They still get the dragon, and they're looking for BDD.
On the hunt for BDD, but there's just nowhere for him to go in the blink of an eye. Flash for Cuz. KT luckily able to reset the objective, but I don't think they're going to get a chance to leave quite yet. T1 know they have an advantage in the fight if it comes down to the 5v5. Flash forward, ulti into the back, immediately thinks he kicked off, but Peter does his best to heroically disengage. It is not enough to keep Dom standing. Cuz taken out as well. Doran in the 3v1, completely and totally unfazed. Carrier there to stop any further follow-up. Faker taking down Perfect, and BDD is not enough to stop T1.
And it's the critical.
Ward over the wall, spots out Cuz. T1 know it's a 50-50 now. 5 seconds on Dogdam, but he doesn't have access to a TP to make it to the fight any faster. Perfect TP available. BDD finds the angle into Doran. Carrier now backing up. 3K on the objective. Getting lower. Steadfast presence gone. Faker on the backside. Cuz wants to try to make it out of this one, but now they're moving into advantage. Take down Guma. No, Guma living. Guma just wants to finish him. Looking for a bit more damage, but T1, they find the double for Carrier. They take the Thornbound Otacon, and Perfect. It is too little. It is too late. Baker's ulti, the Unbreakable for the Braum will be important as T1 already getting mid-prio. Doran fishing for the flank once again. Ready to come over the wall with the public execution. Carrier going into the wall, locking up Cuz. Instantaneous knockup! A flawless combo to keep it going. Dogdam finally escapes, but he just finds himself in a 1v1 versus Doran. Hope fading fast for the side of KT as Carrier is still standing. Perfect and BDD running for the hills. T1 grabbing their second Drake, but Owner not done yet. Knocks Peter out as well.
And
happy to just trade a few cooldowns and back away.
And it was the resilience of KT that got them the win against Gen G. That game looked dire as well. TP comes in from Faker, won't have his ult, Zona goes in.
Catch him out, Unbreakable used to kick off the fight. That's the ulti from Gumayushi. Good response coming in from Perfect, but the damage not really enough. Ulti does not connect from Doran. Knockback from Carrier takes BDD out of the equation. And once again, it's Doran on top of Docdam. Concussive blows buy him an additional second. Perfect running. The flick back likely to come through as Faker tries to get the damage down, but now he finds himself in a brief 2v1. Goes Golden, knocked back into the wall! Carrier there right in time as KT are effortlessly dismantled. Doran dropping Perfect as well.
And they're gonna at least get the shove.
The wall to divide the team coming in from Faker. Denied a bit by Peter, and it's Owner now on the flank looking for Cuz. Not sure if he's found him. Cuz turning right back onto Owner. Owner instantaneously into the back line. The concussive blows there, as is the perfect execution. Carry in the thick of it. Gumayushi and Faker untouched coming over the wall, but it's Faker. Full confidence is the flash, but unfortunately the flip back goes wide. Doran turns it right back with a sundering blow. KT pulling away. Man advantage for the side of T1 being ushered out. Carrier wants to deny it, but he will only be able to isolate Perfect. The Baron still backing them up. The Dragon in their sights. KT start to flounder. They decide it's not worth it. They decide they don't want it. Instead, they're going to turn their sights to the Drake, spawning in 4 seconds. T1 already have secured the Baron on the back of a keeper's verdict from Carrier. Now they might just look to end it here. Flash forward. Perfect execution. Aptly named as Docdam takes him down. KT now chasing out as well. BDD trying to well more back into the rest of the team, but Carrier once again there to interrupt. Doran unfazed by the magic damage of BDD. It's a double kill coming through. Perfect and Cuz, the last two left standing, but a TP into the base.
I don't think his survival is gonna matter as Doran and Carrier show a masterclass in this game one. The lane for both, I think, looked a little precarious, but those team fights, man. That's a smile on the face of T1's top laner.
Doran was a heat-seeking missile in this game. He found Docdam over and over and over.
But you do need to get to your items because the early game for this comp is not looking too hot.
And I think that we have to hope, or at the very least the KT fans have to hope, that BDD's first game on Mel isn't his first ever game, but just his first competitive game. World emotes, icons, and capsules. Ooh. But you might not have time. You might want to wait until after whatever is happening here continues to happen, because Carrier running for his life. Faker there.
But he does have to pay for it heavily.
And the critical part is that T1, they don't overextend the play because Cuz and Peter were on the way there, and now they're looking at Guma.
KT getting aggressive, just knocking down Gumayushi, taking first blood as Peter flawlessly
multiple items to really have that extra pressure, and the team is built around a Sivir Lulu comp here. While there's possibilities elsewhere.
Nice side set from BDD, just barely able to get away. Vault Breaker coming in for Cuz, opts not to flash. The turn back from Owner is solid. Faker now on the way in himself, trying to use the Golden Clips to keep things going. The Ezreal ulti across the top. BDD grabbing one. Faker will turn it back, but he's under the tower, and it's Cuz to take him down.
And it's the subterfuge. He needs to be very careful about how he picks his fights because, again, T1, there's only 2 big carries, but this early on, the damage is still there as BDD.
BDD potentially caught out, layering into CC a little bit off. BDD unstoppable for a brief moment, ready to use the ulti, but Faker has stolen one away. The Golden Eclipse, but the follow-up is there from Peter. Makes it a 1-for-1. Vault Breaker coming in. Faker just CC'd for an eternity. The Kingslayer healing not available.
But I think T1 don't want to let them get this dragon. Want to get Soulpoint themselves.
Faker's ulti available. Needs to hijack the ulti of Peter. Chip really starting to hurt onto Doran. Catch over the wall onto Cuz, the most fed member. They're immediately going to delete him, and the rest of KT trying to pull the trigger, but they can't quite find the angle. BDD, Docdam, they've got the range advantage. Peter waiting to peel for them if necessary. Perfect. Spots them in the darkness. The Tremor Sense showing him what he needs to see, but they've stopped moving or have moved out of range. He can't be certain now. The Q from Doran moving in. Peter still gets the ulti. It's a Golden Eclipse from BDD. A new dawn for KT in game 2, but T1 are unconcerned. Guma, Carrier, standing, the bot lane. Will it be enough? BDD trying to buy her back, but it's Gumayushi. Fearlessly advancing, ricocheting, tearing through the dreams of KT. At the bottom of your screen, he might have faltered in the early game. He might have been behind in game 1 and game 2, but this man is a team-fighting demon. The dragon starting to fall. Turn back from Faker as he catches out Docdam. Cuz there to try and peel, but it is too late. Owner moving in. A Cataclysm across the top side. Perfectly
there.
canceled. BDD flashing over the wall. Gumayushi still living. Perfect on the chase. Peter wants to fire back. Cuz running for the hills. 2 down on the side of T1. But Guma might be enough. Perfect gets the bite. Tears right through him, and now it's Owner picked off as well. KT fighting for their lives. BDD still standing. Crucially, the extra damage. Doran set to fall. A double kill for the KT mid laner.
And BDD have been very critical. Now, though, Doran is looking at Doctum.
Doctom, unaware of the Scion, but knows that he has relative safety. Has to be careful about walking forward towards that brush. And Doran perfectly placed and baited Doctom. Far too confident.
Doran lying in one now, looking to pounce Doctum in the river, but he is Ezreal.
Doctom, pass over the wall. Peter looking to make a play. Lockdown onto Faker, looking to turn it back. Root is connected as well. Faker's been caught. Buys a brief moment with the Seekers. The rest of T1 retreating. Perfect buying the space and the tunnel over the wall. It's a heist. He buys the time to take Faker down. Doran with a decimating smash. Peter on the chase. They'll only connect onto one, but it's enough to start the fight in their favor. Gumayushi untouched, but he's also not able to do any damage. Cuz keeping it going. KT pushing into the jungle of T1.
Faker, they get the advantage, and Perfect is able to escape. Wait a second.
BDD flash. Doran forced to flash back over the wall. Sidestep on the decimating smash. Peter there to cover. Guma can't push for anything else. Doran getting chunked out. That's the ulti to seal it. BDD going godlike. Guma alone in the mid lane. Objective slowly falling. Owner zoned off. Perfect there with the knockup. Needs to lock it down. Owner's not going to have a chance. KT, it takes some time, but they take down 2 members of T1 over the wall. KT retreating back down to the bottom lane as Cuz starts the objective. Flag there, spots the objective play. Faker on the flank. Perfect not going to give him the angle. KT starting to retreat. Starting to get forced backwards. Doran to kick things off. Peter to look for the interrupt. Faker using an ulti of his own to be stolen away. BDD taking another fight. But down goes Guma. Cuz making it work, but PD's owned away by Carrier. And all of KT now collapsing on the T1 support. At the end of the day, it is only Owner, and he cannot. And still, they'll take their time walking into the jungle. This time around, Doran won't be able to find the blind decimating smash, but the ulti to kick things off. He connects onto the wall. Perfect waiting on the back line. Doctum untouched. BDD untouched. Doran straying way too far forward in a moment of miscommunication. Down goes the top laner of T1. KT start the Baron. Set to even up the series in the 2025 World Finals. Doran isolating Cuz. Peter going forward. Finds 3 with the knockup. Perfect there to fall, but Faker turns it right back and knocks down Peter. Doctum, BDD, still standing. But Guma, he's shredding through everybody. The Sivir finally allowed to take over the fight. But they managed to take him. Faker still alive in the scrappy fight. The extra healing is making all the difference. Doctum doesn't quite have the damage that he needs. KT holding on for dear life. Doctum able to find the kill. Perfect. Cuz Doctum falls. A final hold for T1. It almost turns in their favor. But Perfect is going to end the game. Guma dies, and so does T1. KT even up the series.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Perfect, reliable as all hell in this game, doesn't go down.
Could do a lot of work.
And there's layers to this because Cuz is one of the best Viegos we've had in the LCK. BDD earlier this year had the best Syndra play that I've ever seen. Hit a 4-man scatter, and he will be locking it in here.
BDD Syndra. Now this is
basically the opposite of last game. That was 2 carries. This time they basically have 4, especially when it comes to those. Maybe doing some poking, but I don't think an actual contest is in the works here.
As long as he has his passive up,
Peter is.
He's not too worried. Hex Drake down. BDD waiting in the darkness. Multi-man. The CC layering is there. Doctum on the way in, but he's only level 4. Owner now running for his life. Forced to flash away. Ulti comes out from Faker. He doesn't have a lot of mana left. The Dark Sphere hitting, slowing Faker down. The chase coming through, but they really don't have what they need. Ulti there. His power unleashed. The weak scattered. And first blood for KT.
BDD Syndra to the alligator, though.
That's a Mundo with red buff. Doran.
Yeah, Syndra's coming.
Doran.
He's just dead.
You only have 1 piece of CC.
Cornered.
Yeah, that doesn't work on him. He's going where he pleases. Doran, I think this might not have been what you wanted. BDD on the way, hoping to get this donated. Doran, I think.
Well, he's stalling.
Barnott might be in the game, but this is certainly a magical journey for Doran as... I don't...
Trying for the execute. It's all he can do, but not going to happen.
but it doesn't cost KT much yet. Gumayushi standing on the backside, ready to transcend if he needs to. Dokdem going all in to try to stop him from getting his fight. Owner on the way in, looking for the reset to keep the fights going. BDD going over, wants to kill Owner, but Owner lives for an extra second. The stun to turn it back. Owner taking over BDD, but the stun does not connect, and Peter's now running. Cuz locked down in the meantime. Perfect is finally here, but it might not matter. Reset on the ulti from Owner means he gets to back away, but the health bars are low across all of T1 KT. This is an insane gamble. Objective lower and lower, and Cuz is taking unstoppable for Perfect. Gets a bit more space. Carrier still living. Dokdem on the way in, and Guma set the fall. Down goes the 80 carry. Dokdem on the way out. The TP in. Fish in a barrel, and it's time for KT to start free firing. T1 thought they had the edge, but in the end, it's KT. Just to get him in range is BDD, then now collapsing on the side lane. Multiple pieces of CC, stun, initial lockup into Owner is decent. BDD trying to turn back, sidestep does not work. Owner taking the kill.
One of the hardest. Oh, there's the TP, there's the flank.
TP from behind, flashing forward, Carry's gonna find the knock on to Dokdem, but Peter beautifully stopping the initial engage. Doran from behind, though, more than enough to knock down that 80 carry. KT running.
Huge TP flank. What? It turns into more.
Peter, flash out, reset from Owner. Unstoppable for a moment. Owner setting up for the angle, but he's not going to overcommit. Reset on the ulti.
Value, but you do give up the topside turret. This gold lead for T1. Getting larger and larger as Carrier not sitting on
Peter,
Smite.
Hex flash, pulverize, knocks Carrier back over the wall, and here comes Dokdem. Down goes Carrier. A little bonus kill on top of the Drake. Like a truck. Doran very likely to just have to concede this tower. So KT get the Drake, they get a kill. The redemption now used as well, and it's on Doran to instantly delete this wave. It's working out well so far, but can he keep his life? TP's coming in from the side of T1, but it's just Faker and Guma off to the side. They don't have the tools to keep the fight going. KT going to respond, not too isolated. 5K on the Drake, getting lower. Eyes on Peter, the Alistair to make the play as Faker tries to zone away. KT, it's Peter in the clutch. Scatter the fall, but the fall damage is not there. Exhausted is Faker, and Carrier tries to turn it back, but he's all by his lonesome. Doran cannot get into the back line. KT managed to find the initial kill. It's perfect start to pop off. Guma missing completely. They get the Drake, but it might cost T1 everything.
He flashes into the wall, and that might be the Otacon going over to KT.
Cuz continuing to go where he damn well pleases. T1 trying to approach from another side. The potential for BDD to line up a multi-man scatter for it to end the fight in a blink of an eye is massive, but once again, it's the flank that they're looking for. But it's Doran caught out. BDD unleashing his power. Cuz using the maximum dosage as KT start to push into Gumayushi. He's ultless. He's helpless. There's nothing he can do. Mundo pushing further and further into T1's back line.
KT are doing it! The stun from BDD right onto Renekton as he's trying to go through.
Coming in from BDD, well called. Potential 50-50. The Mundo damage. The auto carrier trying to zone. Peter on the way and wants to knock them out of the fight. The objective getting lower and lower, but off T1! Deleted! In the blink of an eye! KT take everything!
The TP comes in.
TP from behind, they want to catch out Perfect. Perfect can try and use Doran as an escape route. Carrier has to be careful, but Pathmaker already used means that Perfect is in trouble. Q3 back through, using Carrier now to escape. Perfect on his way out. It's not the Rek'Sai, but once again, it feels like he's going to escape. All of KT looking to collapse. Eyes on Faker and Doran as Perfect flashes out to safety. That's the ulti used by Guma. KT pulling back, keeping Perfect alive. Doran wants to make the difference. Cuz goes in! T1 making it happen. Guma fails the flash. It stops the fight from going through. Doran getting whittled down. And in the end, it's Cuz again who refuses to drop. Peter with the CC. I cannot believe it. KT holding on as T1 in the end might finally get to the moon. No!
Who comes out ahead? The scrap Faker trying to chase down the extra kill. But
T1 take a fight and lose. KT will immediately end the game. T1, the pressure point is on them. KT have baited them into the trap. Peter from the darkness, finding Doran, but not the ideal carry as Guma and Faker are still untouched for now. Gravity field to lock them up. Maximum dosage. Cuz getting lower, but still living. The Mundo refusing to die, and Gumayushi drops. KT taking it across the finish line. Faker forced back. The bot lane open. The TP there for BDD. KT moving.
About to go up match point in the telecom war in the world's final.
A story at this tournament of dominance when it's
CR5.
It is interesting because Mordekaiser is a champion that can still split push even when faced with Nocturne comps.
True.
So I do like it even when, T1 have ways to attack side lanes, with Nocturne and other people joining, it is something that can still always have threat there. See if they can actually do it this time. T1, of course, they have to approach.
Making his way over, even getting a summoner or getting the egg would be big.
Faker grounded, Cuz on the way in. Good wall to force the disengage, but BDD full committing even though he has no mana. They do manage to get the passive out of Faker. Cuz full committing, Peter on the way, the tongue lash there. They want to give the kill to BDD, but it'll go to Cuz in the end.
And when
barely able to skirt around the edge, but the objective set up now for the side of T1. Double TPs. KT want to claim it for a bit more. Ulti coming out from the side of Keria. Drake down. The back line of KT berserk as they look if they can turn it back. But again, they don't have the tools to keep the fight going unless Peter wants to flash tongue lash. But that's all their CC. Perfect fighting off to the side, dragging Faker into the death realm. In the meantime, BDD starting to walk forward. Doran potentially caught out. The forward man! BDD! Showing he can be clutch in the moments that count. Turning it again. KT were losing the fight as they lost the objective. Gumayusi will not be able to make the bailout work. The Drake to T1, the fight to KT.
Oh, Doran's gonna want that one back. The big whiff on the Gragas engage there.
Peter knock up a bit too far. The thick skin, yeah, it's not gonna save you. Caught up in the hype, caught up in the moment. Faker gonna get one back.
Yeah, getting a little bit out of himself.
5v5 at the pit. Flash ulti available for BDD if he wants to try and find it. Perfect isolated off to the side. Hostile takeover stops Peter from going any further. Docdam completely isolated. Cooking the barrel for just a little bit longer, and now the Drake is going to go down. Owner taking it. Docdam isolated. And Perfect trying to force a fight with Faker, but he gets nothing as the wall comes in to interrupt. Flash over the wall. The ulti from BDD. He might get a couple more kills, but again, the objective belongs to KT. Even as T1 begin to fall, Faker and Carry are ready to turn it. But have they overcommitted the wall there, trying to disengage Keria? Faker running into the pinch, Obliterate connecting for full damage. Cuz on the chase, waiting a few seconds for the pillar. But if T1 take the fight, it might just cost them the game.
Perfect has
sticking around, ready to get them away. The ulti not stacked up. Perfect going forward just a little bit longer. The death realm to come out. Owner going to respond with an ulti of his own, turning off the lights on this team fight between both lineups. Gumayusi and Perfect in the death realm, and Guma takes those. T1 focusing on the objective. Cleanse used from Keria. Heal on the way. Faker finding a bit more damage. BDD isolated. Hostile takeover going to connect onto BDD. It won't have much effect as Cuz tries to chase Faker out. But Docdam, he might take Keria. But it's T1 taking the Otacon. Guma securing the objective.
And there it is, the second smite for T1.
Recalling Mordekaiser and the Anivia.
The fight just continues to go. 6K getting lower. Docdam trying to get a bit of poke. Hostile takeover connecting. They don't have a cleanse. Devour from Peter is good, but it might not matter. Cuz continuing to move in. BDD waiting over the wall. The ulti is there, but they don't need to face him yet. The turn on to Faker isn't enough. 3K. Cuz in the pit. At the end of the day, it does not matter because it is Doran to get the soul. KT might be able to get the fight, but there's too many members of T1 standing. Ocean Soul to T1 as everybody on KT falls.
And I am starting. And T1 call the T1 Baron. Gold leads there. Ocean Soul is theirs. And KT, we'll see if they can make something happen.
Owner and T1 have secured every single objective this game. Cuz moving in, but zoned away by the Storm from the side of the team. Berserk now onto Cuz. Has to ulti. Owner using an ulti of his own just to try and disengage. Doran, meanwhile, in the mid lane, happy to just continue fighting. Perfect going into the back line. Looking to get taken down by Faker. He's in the death realm, but Faker's happy with the 1v1. Just in time, he gets out. That crucial piece of CC and exhaust there. But Faker just waiting in the darkness. Guma stacking up the spears. The wall to zone KT away. Flash not there for Cuz either. BDD off on the side is going to use the ultimate. W in from Peter does absolutely nothing. T1, they see a vulnerable opponent. They know what they can do as they start to rip them to shreds. KT is not going to take a Baron. T1 reminding us why they are here. What? Down 20 seconds. A TP into the mid lane. Maybe going to catch out Gumayusi here. But it's perfect. Again, this is the problem. No matter who TP's in, it's so effortless for T1 to just walk away.
Yeah, perfect. Guma is 2 levels up on the top laner.
Cuz caught out, isolated, immediate subjugate to try and stay standing, forced to flash back. BDD in the darkness! 3-man! But it's Doran to try to turn it right back. The ulti is decent. Carry wants to turn it back with the hostile takeover. The gold deficit is just too massive. Even a miracle, even an incredible angle was not enough in the face of this T1 lineup. The triple, the quadra, T1 bringing us just a silver scrapes.
Guma lives the engage, and T1's hopes live in the grand finals.
And the telecom war has never been this insane. World's Finals, Game 5.
The champion pool we know is deep.
Just need more engage. You just need more engage with this dive comp. Grab the ultimate here, and the question is, yeah, Smolder could be a good lane into the Galio, but can you survive later? With all of this T1 dive looking for you, a game.
Chengdu erupting in cheers in the final game.
So fine plays us. Oh, look at Owner. He's diverted his pathing. He's looking for top. That's a classic.
Perfect. Needs to back up. Level 3. Getting lower and lower. Last Right's offering a bit of healing. The tactical sweep there from Doran to slow him down. Owner all but certain to make this one come through. First blood for T1. Doran's Camille takes it.
The 3 around. Do I have jungle pressure to put threat behind when I move up in lane and try and taunt you? And now you don't have that pressure at all.
Q forward, sidestep, the taunt, Faker, turning it back, BDD, one more auto, the 1-for-1!
BDD!
So that is something critical to look at. Owner is back and ganking again.
Perfect needs to get out. Has the flash available, but Doran just going to immediately flash follow. The adaptive defensive, the hook shot still there. The Q back for a bit of healing, but it's not enough.
Beautifully played, no hesitation. Owner flashes
Highlighted it so well. It's one of the few things that we haven't seen from him yet this tournament is now the hookshot wall dive is there. Doctom flashing away, but Owner's on the way as well. Ulti there, that's the Hextech ultimatum. Doctom likely to escape, but it looks like Peter will be sacrificed in return. The hookshot, making it out, send his play back to the tower, but it might cost Carrier's life. It's a 1-for-1, no! The minions flicking out! Carrier walks away! Out of the lane!
With Sejuani to back it up, then the Camille Galio,
Baker.
Leona combo is
moving down, that's the combo, locks him in the ultimatum, finds the damage, the taunt is there, and Doran takes another.
Oh, perfect.
Doran on the way up, the maiden summoned. Doran though, he's got backup, Owner on the way in, locked once again in the ultimate of Doran, but perfect living for an extra second, the Q2 coming through just in time. KT want to punish, because they're a little bit too
big.
Access to the ulti, T1 might just be a little bit late here. Cuz desperately needs to smite. Doesn't quite connect. Crucially, Doctom able to get out for a brief moment. BDD now trying to turn and fire back. But Faker is on the way. Ulti going in. Doran is down. BDD still standing. The exhaust managing to take him a little bit lower. But Gumayushi sits on the back line completely untouched. BDD finally able to start opening up. His Owner gets one back in return. Perfect is here to keep his mid laner alive. And there you go. KT find an angle to keep it close.
That's 2 shutdowns for BDD. T1, but it doesn't look like they want to take the gamble.
Perfect also about to be taunted up, has to be careful. They have so much damage here. Doran can, of course, just reset the tower aggro, but he is locked down for a damn long time. Doran, untouchable for a brief moment, but they managed to kill him. T1 fumble the play in the mid lane, and perfect redemption as he survives the dive. Mom called, but she will not connect. Doran might have fallen in the previous play, but he is still damn powerful. Doctom here. T1 pushing them back. It'll take a miracle for them to get this one out. Owner, Peter coming in for the lockup, but Owner manages to get the objective, the fight coming out. Fire rained over the wall by Gumayushi, and down goes Peter. BDD finally arrived. That's the ulti coming in the meantime. He needs a little bit more space. Doctom, BDD untouched, but the front line has fallen. BDD, CC'd, knocked into the sky, and right back into the grave. T1, get Otacon, and ace KT. 5K individual lead, 7,000 gold for T1. The Baron started as expected. KT in dire straits as Faker brings it back. Wants to turn with the taunt. Initial lockup from Carrier is good. Doctom laying down a bit of poke, and he's going to be able to satchel out, but an immediate flash follow coming in from Owner. T1 don't even need the objective. They're happy to keep pushing for a bit more. On the top side of the fight, they've isolated BDD. He's continuing to fight. He wants to turn it back. He gets the kill on Doran. Crucially, Faker falls. KT hold.
2 angles at once, and they paid the price.
Flanks coming in. T1 entire top side missing flash, that crucial cooldown, but their ultis will be there. 3 seconds on Doran. Gumayushi, the other player to keep your eye on as well. The ulti can do a lot of work. Doran going in, doesn't connect, hookshot wall dive, immediately CC'd. Exhaust coming in as well. Combo over the top from Guma. Finds 2. Exhaust as Carrier moves his way to the backline. Faker rains down from the sky. Locks up BDD and obliterates the hope
Good the wave clear of Ziggs and Smolder. It's tough to hold on.
Doran looking to get things kicked off. Hookshot wall that brings him over. He's taking the tower already. Flashback to get away from Cuz's ultimate. And the ulti manages to connect from Dom. A big fumble. Not enough to get T1 back into full control. Relatively even setup, but again, it's the waves in favor of T1 that make this so hard. As immediately they're going to kick things off by going in on Cuz. Taking away the Frost Armor passive. Lockdown from Keria is there. TP in from Doran as well. Ulti's going across the board. BDD caught off the side. A good flash to take him out, and Guma has to be careful, but he's so damn fast. Owner, the lock up BDD. He goes gold in an extra 2.5 seconds to consider what went wrong as T1 looks set to end it all.
They're going to finish the job. It is Doran and Peter left alone in the mid lane. And T1 will
on the rift today, making the impossible possible. Owner, Faker, Guma Yushi, Keria, and now Doran as well are world champions.
And the disbelief on his face. A teammate that's so
back
many.
To the finals. Back to this trophy. KT had an incredible run, but against T1, it just feels impossible. A team that even in the face of bad games, even in the face of match point after game 3, did not falter for even a moment. It's KT's run, it has to be respected. Hearts out now. Remaining 4, their 3rd consecutive. T1 world champions once again.
And they did it as the 4th seed again. They had to play in the play-ins.